And how do people find out about this? I know they come from the web, but is some of this word of mouth? I mean, other photographers talking to other photographers. Do you advertise? I mean, how do you get a business like this started? Because it's a very unique business. Very unique.
My initials start off before people would find me on the web was going to camera clubs and going to service clubs all over Michigan. I've probably done 115 Rotary presentations, for instance, in the last few years. And I've only been taking others on these trips for the last 5 years. So.
When you're on the trip and you're in one of these Jeeps, I mean, for some of these places, it's probably not safe to get out of the car because
you're not allowed to.
You're not allowed to.
Yes.
At any time, are you allowed to or not?
On occasions, you can. There are places where when the drivers can see for miles in every direction, you'll see them allow them to get out and walk around a little bit. Sometimes right in the middle of a big herd of wildebeest and zebras. But usually it's in the open plain where you can do that. And then there's a few rest stops and picnic areas where you're allowed as well. That are safer areas.
No animals going to attack
and
you.
And if there are animals, then there usually is a ranger there. But the only time, we probably only see a gun 2 instances in a whole trip. I mean, it's just not done. Interestingly enough, unlike bears, we're really not in the food chain for the lions and the predators in general, and they just ignore us. I mean, they really, you can drive right up next to them and they might hear a sound and lift their ear, and then that's it.
Here's William, we've seen him for 8 years. We already know who he is.
Yeah, right. Well, you do get an attachment. We had a group of cheetahs in this one area that we saw grow from cubs up, and it's very rare. Only 1 out of 20 cheetahs survives to adulthood.
1 out of 20?
1 out of 20.
Wow.
So
because they're eaten by other things?
They're eaten by other things. The mom, they're always single-parented. Mom has to go hunt and leave them behind, and then they're vulnerable to even hyenas and jackals and that kind of thing when they're really small. So this one mother had raised 4 grown cheetahs, and it was just amazing. We got some great photos of them playing together and that kind of thing.
And we're going to see some pictures in a moment.
I think we will. And then this past year, we watched one of them, they left their mother, then you go back and you see that one of the brothers had gone off on their own. And brothers will stay together. And then in this last trip, actually, 2 of them decided to separate from the other one, and the separation is a big fight. And I thought they were trying to kill it at first. So it was just one of those things that, again, it's a animal behavior that I don't even think I've ever seen on National Geographic. I mean, it's just a really rare thing that we happen
living
and we happen and we happen to experience it firsthand. It's awesome.
That's absolutely amazing. Now, when you're out in the plains, and I mean, are there elephants in these areas?
We see hundreds of elephants on every trip.
Hundreds of elephants?
Hundreds of elephants.
You never see that many on TV, but hundreds, huh?
Yeah, we'll see
Rhinos?
some herds of 10 and 20 and 30 elephants at a time, and then we'll see more of them the same day. We see a lot of hippos. We see, there's only one place that in Tanzania right now in the Ngorongoro crater where you see rhinos. They got poached out almost completely at one time, and they're coming back, and they now have about 50 in the whole northern area in the Serengeti ecosystem, which is not very many, but there's 36 of them or so in the Ngorongoro crater, which is a whole nother experience. It's
I don't know if we have any of those pictures, but we're going to jump into some of the pictures right now.
Okay.
And if there are, tell us about some of these pictures. Like this picture here, are those cheetahs?
That's the mom and the 4 adult cheetahs.
That is so cute. They're all lined up.
They're all lined up. Mom is showing them how to hunt. She's out in front, having a look at where the prey is out across the plain. Yes.
Okay. And the next picture.
This is Mount Kilimanjaro. You can't get I can't describe to you how big this thing is. You get a feel in Seattle. There's Mount Rainier is 14,000 feet, and when you're at sea level, it looks pretty huge. Well, this is a mile higher, and there's no foothills. I mean, I'm probably 70 kilometers from that, 35 miles, and you're still angling your head to see the top. It is so massive that it's just amazing. It's 19,000 feet.
19,000 feet?
19,200 and some feet, yeah.
And that's a big place for mountain climbers to go, right?
It is. It's an easy place to climb.
And do most people
it's more of
enter
a hike.
the Tanzania side?
Yeah, you have to do it in Tanzania.
You have to do it through Tanzania?
You have to do it
okay.
through Tanzania.
And here's the picture of what are these?
These are 3 lions on a rock, and
Lions.
we happened to be near one of the airstrips, and a plane just went over, and they happened to look up in the air.
Wow,
That's
so
not
this
very.
is from a plane? You took this from a? Did you take?
No. I took it from our car, but a plane went by, and so they're all looking up in the air. I've never seen. It was kind of a unique photograph to see lions looking in the sky. Their prey is not in the sky.
Right, that's true. That's true. This one is so cute.
This is one of my favorites. We do see a lot of babies, and we see the interactions, and the interactions are awesome. You'd really love to be able to pick them up, yes.
Are they? But they're not. You can't pick them up.
Oh, no,
They're very dangerous, right? Even when they're
that
little.
would be the most dangerous time. You would become on their food chain if you went and picked up a baby when the mamas are up.
How big is like a baby when they're born? I mean, like how? I mean.
Oh, they're probably not more than 8 inches long,
Okay.
and maybe 2 pounds or something like that. They're really not very large.
When are they usually born? What time of year? Or a couple times a year?
There's no. It's spread all the way around the year. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So every time you go, you can see little babies.
Yes, you can. Yeah.
And this is a really lovely picture. This is interesting. Is this the somebody
a
from
Maasai
10?
lady? Yes.
Maasai.
In one of the Maasai villages that is in the ecosystem itself. The Maasai have lived compatibly with the wildlife for 2,000 years. And so in part of the ecosystem, not in the national park, but in the rest of the ecosystem surrounding it, they allow the Maasai to still graze their herds of cattle and goats.
And in Tanzania, how many different groups of people are there? I mean,
there's 112 tribes.
112 tribes.
But they have a common language,
and
Swahili.
Swahili? Do you know Swahili?
I know enough to be polite, I guess is the best way to say it. I am not fluent in it at all, but I understand now a great deal because I go so often. But.
Now, do they have a European language as a secondary language, or?
Oh, they speak English pretty well.
English, so English is
they
the
were,
next.
and German.
German?
They were German East Africa until the First World War, and then became a British protectorate and became Tanganyika at the time. And then when they got their independence in '61, they became Tanzania.
And here's another this is nice.
Actually, this was just 4 zebras that were in the lead of a herd of probably 3,000 that were in the migration, had come down to this river to drink. And unfortunately, you don't get the feel for the masses here, but yet it's still a very interesting composition.
Now, is it true that zebras are really black with white stripes? I mean, somebody said that. I mean, or are they white with black stripes?
I don't know. The chicken and the egg come first? I don't know.
Do you know?
I do not know. No, there's no way. And in fact, they're brown. The stripes are brown when they're born.
Oh, are they?
And when they're young,
oh, okay.
And then they turn black later.
Can you tell by the stripes whether they're male or female, or
no,
that means nothing?
No, you have to look at the general.
Are they born with stripes?
Yes, they are born with stripes. Oh, yeah,
right.
absolutely.
They don't come like.
But they're brown and white rather than black and white.
Okay. And here we have, what is this?
This is the cheetah.
This is a cheetah?
We had watched her traipsing through she posed for us several times, but this is obviously one of the best ones, and that's one of my favorites. I have a large print of this.
Yeah, it's nice. You couldn't get a better pose, right?
Oh, it's awesome. Yeah.
And this looks like he's trying to go get lunch.
This was one of the few kills that you witness occasionally. We did on this last trip, and this was the first one I ever saw. It was in 2005. Where 2 females worked together. One went out and chased a herd of gazelles towards the other one, and the one reached out and got it. But the one that did the chasing came right beside our car. So that's what this is.
Wow.
So this is part of the chase. And you see the muscles and the speed and everything else. Part of the photography bit of it is being ready for this kind of thing to happen.
Could be over like that.
So one of the things I teach as a part of the workshop when we're there with the photographers and others is how to preset your camera so that when something exciting happens, you have to be ready for it, or you would miss it. Otherwise, if that was all blurry, you'd go home and say, "Oh, it was a kill, but I didn't catch it. That's worth printing." So, yeah.
This one's cute.
This is one of the few ecosystems. There are a few habitat for lions where they actually climb trees. When I first started, I thought they were only in this small park called Lake Manyara, where they climb trees, because they're known as the home of the tree climbing lions.
The home of the tree climbing lions.
But the southern part of the Serengeti also, you see, and up through the middle of the park, in fact, you see lions in the trees often. And in fact, I'm about to publish a book on lions in trees. Cats in trees, basically.
Oh, that's
It'd be a
cute.
combination of leopards are supposed to be in trees. They're always in trees. They have triple hinge paws so they can go climb down as well as climb up.
Oh.
And they will take
Okay.
up to 3 times their weight in their jaw up to store their prey up in the limb of a tree. Lions only have double hinge, and so they can climb up. The claws will go in, but when coming down, they got to run down.